And we are live.
Awesome. Hello, hello. It's Ashar here. I'm here with Saad and we are both founding engineers from Langbase. I'm a backend engineer specializing in backend engineering, and basically lead. I'm the backend lead over here. Saad, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. So, hey everyone, I am Saad. I am also a founding engineer here, working primarily both on front end, back end, and most recently Chai that I hope you guys are all using to vibe code AI agents. And yeah, that's pretty much about it. Yeah, let's go.
So yeah, let's go. So today we are here to talk about vibe coding AI agents. What you're going to learn is like how to use Chai to vibe code AI agents, and we will be discussing how we have made it possible using Langbase AI primitives. And basically, in this context, you will be basically learning how to use Langbase AI primitives again to build AI agents. But and then we will be answering any questions that you guys may have, or yeah, or the questions that we get from our users on a daily basis. So yeah, let's just dive right in. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. Um, awesome. So is my screen visible, Sam?
Yeah, perfect.
Awesome. Is Zoom enough? Is it Zoom enough?
I think maybe we can zoom a little bit more.
You want one more? Okay,
Yeah,
let's go with one
probably.
more.
Yeah, let's go with this one.
All right. All right. Uh, we have Chai. Chai, what does it do? Like, Chai is a tool that basically the vibe code AI agents. You just have to give it your prompt, and it will on the runtime it will build those AI agents for you. And on the background, it's basically what it is doing is like it's using the language AI primitives that we have built for building AI agents, and it's using them to uh, build AI agents for you. And then once it has built all of the agent, it's basically you can one click deploy it to our cloud, and it will show you the app that it has built for you. So here, as you can see, there are lots of examples that you can go through and use them to build AI agents for you. These are the most I think common use cases that we have gotten in the past year. So we basically put them as a template for you to try it out. So yeah, let's just go ahead and start building an vibe coding an AI agent. So today, so I'm planning to basically what basically do here is I'm planning to I will be vibe coding a couple of agents, and I will go through them one by one their code and explain to you guys like how all of it is working. Um, so
Yeah,
let's
we will
create.
also be like during the code part, we will also be taking a look at the different primitives that the agent that the Chai has used to build that agent. So you guys can easily understand that how Langbase AI primitives are being used to build a fully functional multi-agent architecture. And yeah,
Yeah,
let's go.
let's go. So first of all, I was just thinking of an agent that I wanted to travel to some other locally to some other city, and I was wondering like if I could build an AI agent for me myself. So I came up with a travel agent like that can just I can just give it my prompt, like give it my input, like I'm going to this city, build for couple of days, like build me a travel itinerary for me. So um, should be simple enough to build, don't you think, Sat?
Yeah, awesome. Let's do that. I think Chai would
Yeah.
be able to
So
easily build that.
yeah. So let's start with the prompt. So what I want to do is build a travel agent that will, if I can type correctly, take destination, nation, and number of days as input and search the web for places that user can visit, and it will build our travel itinerary, if I can spell that correctly. Okay, so here I've asked it to build a travel agent for me that will take a destination and the number of days from me from the user as input, and search the web. So it's going to take those inputs. It's going to search the web for the place that I've asked it asked for the itinerary for, and then it will just go ahead and take that piece of information and build a travel itinerary for me that I can potentially use. So let's go ahead and give it the prompt. So behind the scenes, what it's doing right now is like it's going in, taking all of our input and vibe coding the AI agent for you. So right now, as you can see, the agent code is done, almost done. Like it's about a minute out. But yeah, as you can see over here, it has started with the workflow. The most common, the most common AI primitive that we have. Uh, yeah, so workflows. We will be discussing these primitives uh, in the today after we build this AI agent. So here we have Langbase agent on run. So it's basically what it is trying to do here is take import a destination in a number of days, and it's using agent run primitive of Langbase to extract basically extract user input, and then after that it's going to do a web search and roughly, and it's also then take that in context and generate an itinerary for me. So it looks like my agent is ready. So what I need to do is give it an API key for exa, which I have right here.
Ashar, maybe can you zoom out once? It's like, yeah, I feel like it's a bit
Told you,
too.
bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, is it
I
good?
think one. Yeah, perfect.
Okay. All right. Awesome. So this was my exa API key. I've given it, and what I'm going to do now is confirm and deploy. So while it is deploying, what we can do is, yeah, we can continue here. So what it is doing is like it's taking all of that context that it got from the web search, and then it's simply giving it to another agent that will just convert it into a travel itinerary for me, and after that it's just doing some formatting for me. All right, so
Yeah,
here I have.
one thing I would
Mhm.
like to add right here is like when you will enter your first prompt, build me this agent, etc. What Chai will do is it will generate the agent code, then it will generate the agent app code for you, so you do not have to, write it yourself. And after everything is done, you can just deploy as Ashad just shared earlier. You can just provide your env variables. We needed in this particular agent, we needed OpenAI key, we needed exa key, and we just provided it right away and deployed it. And once we deployed, you can see that we have a live agent app that we can just use, and it is behind the scene. It is using the agent that Ashar was just explaining.
Yeah, so right here, right, we have the complete deployed the agents app that basically that will use the agent code behind the scenes, and basically we can interact with this agent using this app. So let's go ahead and give it some input, like I want to visit Paris for 5 days. Yeah, that would be good. Let's
Yeah,
generate its
I would like to do that.
right.
Yeah, but
Who doesn't?
definitely need what I would want to do, definitely. But yeah, Paris is a nice place. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think in the meantime, what's happening is it's just hitting our hitting the agent, right? We can probably show the console to see what's happening.
Yeah, so in the meantime, basically what's happening is like it's behind the scene, it's hitting this API endpoint that have been generated for my agent, And you can see the input over here. I've given it the same input, and what it's doing is behind the scenes. It's like it's going or doing all of the steps that we discussed before. Like it's going to format my get extract my input. And then it will pass that input to the web search. It will get those web search results, format them, and then after, so we are the travel itinerary is done. So let's see what we can see here. So 5 day explore the city of light. Oh, we can look at it later. All right. So day one, iconic landmarks and historic neighborhoods. Morning, afternoon orientation. It looks to me like this is a lot of information. I mean, let's simplify it down. So let me change the output. So let's change the output to a less wordy version with just
I,
time, title, and location in
yeah,
bullet points,
yeah, that would be great because right now, again, as you
right?
can see, we have a lot of information, and all this information, we need to make sure that we only, all this information when you see, it's generally a bit overwhelming. So it would be a good idea to just get what do this on this date on this time. That would
Yeah,
be great.
yeah.
Yeah. So again,
It
I
will
think
be easier to understand. It will be easier to understand. Like we have this, like on this date, on at this time, while
yeah.
doing this, and this. That's it.
Yeah, I think now it's regenerating it has regenerated the agent code. Now it's regenerating the app code because again, since the agent code has changed, that means that there's a very high chance that the outputs have changed. And then since the
Yeah.
outputs have changed, we need to change the agent app code so it accommodates the new output of the agent code. So yeah, I think
Mhm.
agent app code is generating at the moment, right?
Yeah, agent app is generating at the moment. So we can just go into the agent and see what changes that his has it made.
Yeah.
So I think past input has remained the same. Search web results has remained the same. Compiling input I think has changed a little bit. And then generating itinerary step would have been changed. Anyways, it's ready to deploy. So let's deploy it.
Yeah, in the meantime, since
All right.
yeah, we as Asher is deploying right now, I think the agent code changed a little bit where we are now only getting the day, time, etc. that we mentioned in the prompt, right? Can we quickly find where it is? I think it's
Yeah,
right.
so here it is, like format response,
Yeah,
format the travel itinerary into a concise bullet point list, use the markdown formatting. For each day, include a header, day one, followed by a bullet point with time, title, location for each activity. So it's basically doing the exact thing that I asked it for.
yeah, yeah.
And
That's awesome. I think it's yeah,
that's amazing because
yeah.
it's following my instructions to the letter, and that's
Yeah.
amazing. Anyways,
Let's
let's
try
go.
Berlin this time. Let's try Berlin this time. Since I live in Berlin, I think I will probably
So
have a bit of an idea of
okay,
what I have to do.
I'll give you Berlin. I'll give you Berlin. Okay, let's generate it. Let's see what we get for Berlin.
Yeah. I think right
Anyways,
again hitting the same API,
yeah,
right?
yeah. We are hitting the same API endpoint. The API endpoint hasn't changed because it was the API endpoint didn't need to change. We have basically what we have done is like taken the new code and basically deployed it to our cloud after that, and then basically we are hitting the same API endpoint with the updated agent. And after that, basically, it's basically taking your input and processing uh, it behind the scenes, and it will return some output in just a couple of seconds. So here
Yeah.
you go.
So we have the output.
So Berlin travel itinerary. All right. So you even verify this, Saad. I
Yeah,
think,
it's museum island.
right?
I know lunch and everything. Okay, seems fun. I'll probably do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And okay, so dinner at I can't even pronounce this. Sorry.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
rough.
All right. Day two, visit Berlin Wall
I think
by
it's all correct.
10:30.
I think most of it
I
is
think this is good, right? So
this.
this is good information.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. And again, I think the same information you can see everything behind the scene. Like this is also there is also a console where you can take a look at the
Yeah.
request we made and the request this agent app made and the output we received. And also since earlier we mentioned a couple of times that you this agent app is hitting an API and that API is actually returning us this response. So why not should we show this API to to everyone who is watching, because every agent that you build on Chai actually is also available on an API. So you don't have to, if you don't want to use the agent app, you can just integrate it right in your system via the API.
Yeah,
Can we
you
maybe
can.
take a look there in?
Yeah, sure. I was just gonna mention that here's a little bit of tip. Like you can also copy the API endpoint from here.
Yeah, you just need
Uh,
to replace it with your Langbase API key, but that's good to go. And you
that's
can
about
find
it.
it in the API tab again.
Yeah. So over here in the API tab, basically what you have is the API URL that, and then Langbase API key. Of course, I don't want to show it, and the agent code snippet that the Node.js code snippet. It's basically um,
Yeah, it's just
what it's
letting you
doing
know how
is
you
like
can
it's
call the
just
system, right?
yeah, it's just showing you how to you can basically hit the API endpoint and how you can get the results from it. Coming back to the code, let's start discussing the AI
One
primitives
one
that we
thing,
were
one thing,
talking
Ashwin,
about.
because I would
Hmm.
like, which I would definitely would love to mention here, because I think a
Sure.
lot of you guys are, is kind of an hidden feature that we have, and when people find it, they get really amazed. Why don't we take a look at the flow first? Because
Oh, sure.
yeah, because that is something which I really love.
So this is the feature basically. This feature basically tells you like of Chai basically tells you that what's the flow of the whole app is going to be. So, for example, you start here. You're parsing the agent is parsing the input, and then it's going to search the web. Then it's going to compile that context, and then it's going to generate that itinerary, and then format the response, and then it's going to respond. All right.
Yeah,
So basically, this is a bird eye view of what an agent can do, is
yeah,
doing basically behind the scenes for you in a visual manner.
yeah, exactly. Like again, if you have like something happening parallelly, you will be able to visualize the agent code right here. If you don't want to quickly, read all the code to understand what's happening, you can just take a look at the flow and get a basic understanding of what the agent is doing behind the scenes to make, return with these travel advices, etc.
Yeah. Yeah, and you also have memory agents available here. If your agent is using some kind of memory for doing RAG operations, there will be a memory available over here where you can just upload your docs right away, and the agent will start using your memory agent for long-term memory.
Yeah,
So,
I think we were gonna look at it later, right?
yeah, we are definitely going to take a look at it later in the other agent that we will be discussing. All right. So let's jump into the code. So here we have agent.ts file. This file basically contains the whole code for the for the for the agent that we have basically vibe coded. So so what I like to do is like I want to like my understanding, like how I build my understanding is like I like to go to the main code, like where it is being called from, and basically track down like where it is going, follow the flow and see where the inputs are going, and then see find out like it is exactly doing, right? So here it is just define the function. So let's just go to the end, and here it is like export default point. I think this function is the one being called. So over here what is happening is like it's receiving an input, and it's calling the function travel itinerary generator with input and environment variables. All right, and then it's just receiving those results and returning it to the, I'm guessing that, and not guessing, that it's returning to the, I think, to the API endpoint, where our basically our app takes that output and show it to you. Anyways, moving on. So we are here. So our execution starts. First of all, it's our Langbase SDKs gets initiated. It's um, and after that, so all of our AI agent primitives are available through our TypeScript SDK. uh, and the first step is basically defining the workflow, because workflow is the AI primitive that basically allows you to define the steps that your agent is going to follow, and if it fails, it will have built-in retries in it that will allow it to basically, if for example a request to an agent fails, for example, there is a built-in retry mechanism baked into these workflows, where each step will be basically retried a fixed number of amount of time, and you can also customize it. Yeah, so basically, what will happen is that the workflow step will be retried, and then it will try again, see if the error has resolves itself or something, and then basically it makes your agent step durable. And and then using this, basically you'll be able uh, to get the output from the step very easily. Anyways, so first step that we can, first, Chai has basically defined a new workflow, and it's taking step out of it, and then after that we are calling those steps in a number of in a serial manner. So first step are is parsing input. So this in here, as we were talking, like of course we will be getting, for that agent we will be getting input as natural language, right? So we need to parse that information. So here's a way to basically, what's happening inside the step is like taking that all of that input, and it's using it to basically, it's using langbase.agent primitive. So agent is also another primitive, one of our another primitive, AI primitive. Basically what it does is like it allows you to it's a runtime LLM API. So it's basically, it supports all of the major LLM providers out there. We have all those documented in our Langbase API docs, so you can just even go to the docs and go to supported models over here in providers. So basically, I think the last number I remember was like more than 600 LLM agents, LLM models have
Yeah,
we support.
yeah, we support many different providers out there: OpenAI, Anthropic, Together, Grok. Yeah, and we
All of
have like
these.
support for almost 600 plus models on our platforms. And with langbase.agent.run, what you can do is you can easily use any of the models that we support and get the output from them, yeah, very easily. And just like here, like we are using OpenAI model GPT 4.1 mini, and we are using structured outputs as because we have defined a response format. So we are using structured outputs with GPT 4.1 mini to get the response in a particular format that we want. So yeah.
So yeah, basically, and all of these AI primitives are documented in our docs. So you can the workflow that I was talking about, like what it is like. It's if you have, I think you can define retries over here. I think this is just an example on how to use the workflows, and here is the documentation related to the SDK of workflows. So here we have the timeout, the number of retries that it can do, and the function that it is supposed to run, and it also needs an ID, of course. Um, and after that, I think we have agent run, and that is over here. So quick start for agent run. So basically, this is another like the other agent primitives that we were talking about, Langbase agent run, and it's that runtime AI agent for you. And over here, basically, we have the quick start for it. like how you can use it. It takes in all the inputs that the LLM models expect from you, like model stream. If you have your instructions, you have your input. It can take tools, it can take memory, and I think there's a whole list of it with like what it supports in docs here.
Yeah. So with the agents again, just reiterating what Ashar just said, we was just like it's a runtime LLM. So you can just pick any provider, pick any LLM, provide the tools, provide the structured output schema, instructions, input, all of these things that a regular model expects, and you can just make a request to it. And since it's a unified API, you don't have to worry about that, since different like Anthropic returns stream in a different format, and probably Grok returns in a different format. But since it's a unified API, you do not have to worry about all of that. You will always expect the stream in OpenAI format. And yeah, that's something that you can check out. And this quick start guide that Ashar just showed you is for you if you want to experiment with it, try it out on your side. You can just follow this quick start guide and follow the steps, and just copy paste the code in your code editor and just run it right there, and you will be able to see how everything is working. And by the way, one thing I would like to mention here is, since all of this, as you can see, is JavaScript, TypeScript, right? Because it is using our TypeScript SDK. However, all the primitives are also available on API. So you are not just
Yeah,
restricted to the language you are using. Like, if you want to use it in, let's say, PHP, we have a customer. We have a customer who have PHP code base, and they use us via our API that is completely available, that you can use right away.
perfect, fantastic. All right, let's go to the next step. I think this is langbase.tools.search. So this is another AI primitive that we have made public, I think, last week. And this, what it does is like takes in the query of takes in the query, it takes in like uh the inputs, and it searches the web for you, so that you are able, so this is how basically the travel agent is basically getting all of its information. It's from the web by searching it on the web. And you can view its documentation over here as well. Like this is the API reference for web search. And over here, as you can see, like it's taking in the query, it's taking in the API key of the exa platform, and you can limit it down to like the number of total results that it should give you. And the domains, like if you specifically want to search for specific domains, you can give it as an array of string. So yeah, this is web search. And after that, basically, to reiterate, what we have done so far is like our travel agent has taken the input from the user, ran it using the Langbase agent run, and to format the input, like what it is, like what is the destination, how many number of days. And then after that, it has given that input, it has given the location input to web search tool, and it's basically searching the web for the information about the destination. And after that, once it has once it collects that information, it is able to basically compile the basically using the compile context step. It's basically compiling that the all the search result that it has got received. And next step, basically it's passing that same input about the context that it has gotten from the web, plus the information, plus the user's input. And it's just giving it to another agent, where it will basically what it will do is like it will take, it has the system instructions, like create a concise a number of days travel itinerary based on the provided information for each day, and include activities, so where time, title, and put a basically, and make sure the itinerary is realistic in terms of time travel between locations. And so here it has given the number of days, it has given the destination, and it has here's the information about input. In the input, it has given like here's the information about the destination, and it has given the context that we previously received in here. So the so this far basically we have basically managed to create an itinerary using an LLM agent, using a Langbase agent. And then once this step is done, we will get our itinerary. And I think the next step would be to format it again into a bullet point response. So this is what basically when I gave it like give me a bullet pointers list of of the time and place and activity, what I will be doing is basically taking that input and produce this step. And in here is using the content, basically the destination and the itinerary that it has gotten, converting it into a bullet point list. And once that formatted itinerary is done, it's going to return that itinerary, and this will be basically the cache over here in the results, and the results will be returned to you using the API. So, so far, we have learned about uh, workflow. The first primitive that we have learned about is workflow. The second primitive is a Langbase agent, and the third primitive over here that's being used is to start web search. So all of these primitives basically allow us to make this agent possible, like what it is able to do in a multi-step procedure. And then of Mhm.
Yeah,
Sorry.
and again, if you are not someone who would like to look at the code, again, Flow is something incredible that you can take a look to understand what is happening under the hood, like parsing input, searching the web, compiling the context, generating itinerary, and formatting the response. All of it, we saw all of it happening in the code. And since all of that was serialized, like everything was happening the first step was happening, then the other step was happening. Since all of it was serialized, you can see it as a serialized flow. But if it is a parallel, which is probably in case of an email agent, you will see that things are happening in parallel, or both in the code and in the flow.
Yeah. All right. So I think we have discussed enough of this agent. Uh, Sorry.
By the way, one thing that I would love for everyone to know is you can share this agent with anyone. You can, right now, by default, the agent is always private, but you can make it public and share it with anyone. The app is also shareable. Why not? Why don't we do that? So we can probably
Yeah,
share it in the chat.
definitely. Like you can make it public using this, and now it's public, and I can just give you the URL of this agent, and it will be available to the public. And the most if the users, if someone shares their app URL, they will be able to use it. They will be able to use, basically they will be it will be accessible anywhere. It will be public, so it will be free to use. um, so yeah, that's something that comes with the agents built in Chai. So uh, over here, one more feature that I think I would like to share with you guys is something that we have shipped, I think, yesterday,
Yeah,
and that is
we did. We
basically
shared it yesterday, so it is very
literally
new.
shipped it yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, so right now, before you were not able to edit this code, but now you are able to edit this code. So, for
Yep.
example, let's say I want to change the travel itinerary generator to something more personal. Maybe let's say I can say, you know, your travel planner, right?
Yeah.
And
You
enter your
can
destination and sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. I was just saying that previously you were only able to change the code via, by prompting, vibe coding it. And now you can just, all of the code that you see is editable. You can just, if you see something that, oh, I need to change this label to this, instead of, just regenerating everything again, you can just edit the code right there, and just redeploy it, which I think Ashar
Yeah,
is doing, right?
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm about to do. Like I've changed the heading for my agent, and what I'm going to do is like I'm going to save it, and then once my version of the agent is saved, I will be ready to deploy it.
Yeah,
So
it's going to just save the code and create a new version, which you can see is now version 3. Previously, when Usher started typing, it was version 2. And
yeah,
when Usher started typing, it created a draft fork of that version, and which you were able to see. And when he saved, it created another version, which is now version 3.
yeah, and that's being basically deployed right now.
Yeah, we are just gonna deploy it, so you will be able to, so we can quickly see if that previously I think it was I don't remember, planet itinerary something, right? The title was that,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
right now I think the title will change to your travel
your
planet.
travel planner. Yeah. And you can also like make changes to your agent code as well. Like you can, so for example, change the instructions to whatever you want to do. Like I can change the model over here. So for example, I can go here at
Let's
supported
use some
models
other
and I
OpenAI
can take
model.
a look. Yeah, some other OpenAI model. I'm switching to some other. So for example, let's say I want to use GPT-4 or mini instead of this one. So I'll just go here and paste it in, and then I'll ask that, yeah, basically, so parsing is going to be performed using this model, super performant. So it's now, right now, the it was the draft version of version 3, but it's now the version 3 is live, but our version 4 has also been
Created.
created. So
Yeah.
now we can go here and just click deploy, and it will start deploying the agent to our cloud. And once it is done, you'll be able to view
Yeah,
it.
this Yeah, exactly. Like this is like again, just to reiterate, whenever you start typing, whenever you start editing the code, whatever code it is, it can be the agent code, it can be the app code. Whenever you start editing it, the version that the currently you are that the version that you have currently selected, we create a draft fork of that version, just like branching in GitHub repositories. So we just create a draft fork of that version, and when you save, we create a new version, and that new version has a base of the previous version. So in this case, Ashar was using V3 when he started editing the code, and when he saved, the V4 version 4 was created, and it had all the changes of version 3 as well.
Yeah. So one more thing that I would like to mention over here is that it also has you also get like improve and explain features. So basically, what improve will does is like it will ask Chai to improve this. You can highlight the piece of code that it has that's basically there, and you can ask it to improve it, or you can ask it to explain it.
Yeah,
So for
let's
example,
just quickly click on improve to show what you get. Like when you
sure.
select a code and you click on improve, the code is, you see this nice box where you can just start, give whatever prompt you want, and just improve the code right here. And Chai is going to improve it for you.
Yeah, so what should we ask? Like, how should it improve it?
I
Like,
think let's
use
just improve the prompt. I think the system instructions, maybe. I feel like the system instructions can be.
improve the system instructions. That's it.
Yeah, I think
All right.
that's about right. I think, yeah, as you can see, it's regenerating the code
Oh
of
wow.
that
Oh, this
particular.
is amazing.
Yeah, you have a detailed system prompt that Chai has written for you, and one other thing is, if you don't like the prompt, you can always just edit the code right there, right?
Of course.
So it's available to you. So I think,
Oh wow, this is amazing. Like the instructions that it has improved to, it's amazing.
yeah, it's like we
Like
have
it's extremely detailed. It has
yeah,
given the Chai has basically given it the rules that it should follow, and it also has given it like examples like
yeah,
do this and this. Yeah. So
yeah,
this is
exactly.
extremely detailed version.
Yeah, like again, since it's like agent and app. The agent was the agent was updated, and now the app is updating. One thing is, like, I think when the app code is done, we can after this we can touch a little bit on the agent and app mode, because I have seen a lot of questions around it.
Sure.
Yeah.
So what agent mode allows you, basically agent mode is more for general. Let me deploy it quickly. All right. So the agent mode is basically for the complete agent. Like it's if your agent is not working fine, or if your agent is like not doing anything that it's supposed to do, you are able to basically tell it like uh, improve this or fix this error or whatever you've gotten. Like for example, we have seen like people building agents and then maybe get stuck on deployment due to some package error or something like that. So if it's if your agent is not working, mm, you can give instructions to it over here in a follow-up question and basically ask it to improve it or maybe do something else with it. Like for example, you want to add more functionality to it, right? So you can ask that using the agent. And once your app mode is for prompts that will only change the app. You mean and by app mean I mean the front end, that this thing deployed over here. So for example, let's say I tell it like let's
Let's just yeah.
change the UI to dark mode.
Probably, or let's also change. Yeah, I think that would be a good idea.
That would be a good idea, yeah.
Yeah,
So
let's
let's
try
change the
that.
UI to dark mode. So now, since I've given it only to for the app, so it's going to change. So it's going to change just the agent app code that comprises of like the agent.tsx file and the styles.css file. So now it's basically regenerating all of that code to make sure that it's following my prompt. So yeah.
Yeah,
Uh, mhm. You
yeah,
were saying,
let's do
Seth?
that. Yeah, yeah. I was just saying, let's in the meantime also, like, if you want to, add some more features in the app, you can just switch to the app mode and just start vibe coding the app right there. But if you want to, again, if you want to change the agent itself, then you can just switch to the agent mode, because we recently got a couple questions around how people asked around how we can change this part of the app, that part of the app. And what we definitely want to emphasize is you can do all of that with the app mode.
Definitely, yeah. So right now, I'm deploying the app. So let's go over here and wait
Yeah,
for the
it's
app to deploy. And
yeah,
we
it's
have done a lot of deployments today, man.
yeah, I think, like, again, we are seeing like so many deployments every single day. Chai is being used by so many, like, there are more than 50, sixty
Oops.
thousand agents being built every day on Chai. So that's something which I think which is really good. Uh,
So I
and yeah,
think it didn't understand the instructions quite well enough. I don't know. Something went wrong. But yeah, it should be able to
I think,
follow.
yeah, this is something. Here's I would add something, because as you can see that when Usher just added, sent the prompt, it generated a new version for the agent code as well. And by today or tomorrow, we will be shipping a feature where you will be able to see what changed between different versions. So right now, as you can see, didn't nothing changed much, right? So if I were since I'm an engineer, I would like to know, okay, if nothing changed, what actually changed in the code? and we are going to ship that
Yeah.
feature today, by end of today or by tomorrow, where you can just see, compare different versions together and see what changed and what not. So yeah, just an FYI.
Yeah.
I think yeah.
Sorry, you were going to say?
Yeah, I was in, yeah, all good.
I
I
was,
think we can probably
yeah.
go with another.
Yeah, I wanted to take some time to discuss RAG agent as well. So here, for example, right now, in here, I've basically, before this live stream, I built a support agent for myself. So basically, what it does is like it's a language support agent, and as you can see, like it's going to be basically what it will do is like it's going to be using the language docs that I've already uploaded in the agent's memory, and it's going to basically here I have the language docs ready that I've basically uploaded to the memory, and it's going to use that agent to basically, it's going to be a support agent for me. So when I give it any questions related to language, it will be able to use the memory, use the with RAG operations, and basically allow me to basically it will be able to answer any of my questions related to language. So for example, language.memory.retrieve. So basically so right now what is happening is like in this agent it's created the workflow, uh, and it's basically defining all these steps, and then the first I think it's analyzing the user query, and after that it's trying to retrieve using that input, it's trying to retrieve memories from a like this is the memory that we have created for this agent, and over here it's basically trying to retrieve relevant documents that's related to my query, and then after that it's going to generate a response for my query using that context. And over here you can see that the retrieved documentation is going into this context in the input, and after that the final response will be generated by the AI, the language agent, and it will be returned to the API. So over here in the app, let's see, we have a support agent, and it works in, by the way, in dark mode. So let's see, well, let's ask like, how can I create agents in Langbase? Yeah, I'm going to send this question to it. And what it will do is, and behind the scenes, as I showed it to you, like it will be using those in the API. It's basically it's using those primitives, the AI primitives that we have. So it's using the agent language agent to basically get what user asked, like get the query, and then after that it's basically going into the language memories and retrieving the documents, relevant documents, and then using those documents and give basically it's taking those documents, the context that it will receive from the language memory agent, and it will pass it on to the language agent run, and it will generate a proper response for us, and it will after that it will format it. So for example, right now I asked it like, how can I create agents in Langbase? And here's what it has come up with. Install the dependencies, of course. We need to install language.env, and we need to create an env file, right? So that's correct. Initialize the SDK. You can initialize the SDK using this code, and then after that, on language you can create the agents that deployed, basically the not runtime agents, the other agents using pipes, and you can use that. Basically it has put all of that in code, like in proper instructions, like how can you do this, and at the end it's calling that function to create the agent using language SDK. And here's how you interact with it. Like you use the dot run function to send it a message, and it will run it for you. And yeah, so that's about it. And it's basically over here it has basically give me the references. So for example, language SDK users. So if I just go to it, like it's a pro. I think it's not the link that we are expecting, but I think it's just needs to add docs. But yeah, So I think these links are correct. Like this is this will lead us to the references in the docs that we have. Uh, and yeah, so basically this is how it's using the RAG operations behind the scenes.
Sure.
Uh,
Why not
mhm.
we look at the flow? Like, I would love to explain the flow a little bit.
Oh yeah,
Uh, can you switch
definitely.
the flow tab?
Sure.
Yeah, so what's happening, everyone? So what's happening with this particular agent is we get the user query, we perform a retrieval against that query because this agent is actually using a memory agent, which is RAG, and in our memory agent we have a document which contains documentation around Langbase, right? So what is happening is we send the user query to langbase.memory.retrieve with the name of the memory, and it converts that user query into embeddings and perform a similarity search behind the scenes and get back with most relevant chunks. And that you can retrieve documents is actually most relevant chunks, and we send those chunks to the langbase agent.run along with the user query. And the language.agent, it uses everything that we have provided to generate a response from the context that we from the context of the retrieved documents. And finally it returns back with a response which Ashok just showed you in the app. So it's a complete app, complete RAG agent, support agent, RAG agent, that uses RAG behind the scene. And it was, I think, vibe coded with just a simple prompt. And that's
Yeah,
about it. As you can see, it's on
that's
version
it.
1. So I should just send this prompt and it vibe coded the whole agent for you. And yeah.
Yeah, and I do, on that note, I do want to show a little bit complex examples of, for example, I think that would be perfect for email agent. So here, what this agent is doing is like it's going to we will give it an email as an input, and it will what it will do is let's take a look at the flow. So basically, what's happening here is like we initializing language, we are creating the workflow, we will process the email in parallel. So we have to do two steps here. We have to summarize the email, we have to analyze its sentiment, and once both of these processes are done, we need to determine if a response is needed for an email, right? And then you can see like it's if a response is needed, like that input will go into the response needed step, and then on this step we will define like if it is if a response is needed, if a response is not needed. If if it is needed, then we will generate the response, and if it's not required, then we will just skip the response generation completely. And after that, and at the end, we will get the results. So we're here in the code. Let's take a look at the code. So we're here, we are initializing the langbase SDK. We are using defining our workflow, and we are basically running things in parallel using promise.all, where we are basically giving it two steps to run. So it will run both of these steps in parallel, and we don't get we don't get stuck in like in a serialized manner. So we are getting the summary and the sentiment at the same point, and after that, uh, once those we have those, we can just get it we can just pass it to another agent, language agent run, and determine like if a response is needed or not. And once we have determined like if the response is needed, we can just generate a professional response for that email, and return the results back to our API. So over here in the app, if we can just go here and let's test it, like run the I could just copy paste the same. This looks email looks urgent to me. So let's see if it is able to process it. So you here obviously you can see like we are basically showing basically we are sending the generate response as an API request, and then after that, once the response we have received the response, it will tell us like this is the response. And over here in the email analysis, it has successfully generated the summary. Sentiment did the sentiment analysis. It's urgent and with explanation, like, and the response needed is yes, we need to response this, and then it has also generated a response for us. So
Yeah,
yeah,
again, I would like to emphasize that this was like one shot, and it like Ashur, I think if you go up, you will see all
yeah,
the way up, you will see that we just gave it this prompt and we are the version one is live, right? You can see it's on version one.
it's
So
it's,
it's
it's on one, yeah.
generated all that in one shot, and you were able to build a fully functional email agent that that takes an email, analyzes its sentiment, summarizes it, then and do that all in parallel, and then decides whether the email requires a response or not. And if it requires a response, it generates a response for you as well. So all this is, all this you can do very easily with Chai.
Yeah. So I think we are coming to the conclusion. Like we are
Yeah, I
almost
think.
at time. Desart, do you have any questions?
Yeah, I see a question in the chat where someone is asking if if it works perfectly with Gemini and Perplexity API. Um, and I can take that. Yes, we support both Google Gemini models and Perplexity models from Perplexity. All both of these providers are supported fully on Chai, so you can just ask. By default, we use OpenAI in our agent, but you can just ask Chai to use a model from Perplexity or use a model from Google. Let's say I think we yesterday or the day before yesterday, Gemini 2.5 Pro was launched, if I'm not wrong, and Chai is so Chai you can easily use that with Chai. We It's fully supported on Chai right now. So yeah, that's something that you can do. I think
All right.
yeah, I think someone said that we should drink chai during these live sessions, and I couldn't
Oh,
agree more.
sure. Yeah, I wanted to. I
Yeah,
wanted to do it. Yeah.
yeah, perfect. And yeah, there are some like well, like before we end the stream, there are a few things that I would like to mention because we did a stream last week, same time, same day. Uh, and we didn't have those features by back then, but right now, as of today, you can edit code in Chai directly without having to, if you don't want, if you want to just update some, let's say a title, or let's change the color of a button, and you do not want to send an extra message to do that, you can just do it right there. The coding feature, the editing of code feature is fully available. The second thing is everything on Chai, every code that you see on Chai is being versioned now. Previously, we used to only version the agent code and we didn't version the agent app code. But now, even in the app mode, whenever you are communicating, whenever you are vibe coding, or updating something in the app mode, it will generate a new version. And by the end of this week, you will be able to see what changed between across, two versions. So you can see what code changes were made and have more visibility. So all these things, the last thing is coming by end of this week. The first two things I mentioned are already live, and we are planning a lot more. We have a lot more exciting things coming with when it comes to Chai. So just stay tuned and try it out yourself. And yeah, I think that's
Yeah,
pretty
and
much
if you have any ideas, like if you want us to implement any particular features, let us know about that in the comments. You can also hang out with us. Come hang out with us in Discord. We are at language.com/discord. Um, yeah, I think we can wrap
Yeah, I think
wrap up.
that's about it, guys. Have
That's
a
about it.
Yeah, I think the weekend is coming up. Have a great weekend ahead, and hopefully we will have another stream next week. And so yeah, see you guys next week. And yeah, till then,
Yeah.
bye.
Bye.